because Moon is in conjunction Pluto, making opposition to Mars. Mars will become retrograde. Yes. And also Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is the heartbeat of the Earth. Hasn't come down below 50. It's maintaining itself in 70, where it usually goes from 7 to 13 hertz. Yes, it does go high. It has high peaks for moments. But we have had also the strongest solar storms that have been marked. And solar storms are the way that our DNA get updated. So imagine the emotional work that we are doing, because we are walking towards a new dimension in the earth. We are preparing, we are really opening the portals for the upgrade of the earth. So everything that does not go with us anymore, everything that we should leave behind, we are being pushed to leave things behind. We are being pushed to leave behind behaviors. We are being pushed to leave behind attitudes. We are being pushed to leave behind comfort zones. We are pushed to leave behind attachments. We are being pushed to leave behind addictions to problems, addictions to people, codependencies, addictions to physical things. So definitely it's been a very, very, very tough time. We are approaching year 9, as you know, 2025. And after 2025, it's expected to have the Great Reset. Okay, that is also why things are also getting worse global-wise. These days, I don't know if you're aware of the scandals that are going on with famous people in the news. This is what happens when Pluto gets out of retrograde, becomes stationary, and then becomes direct. And it's in the last degree of Capricorn. Capricorn represents the power. So in the last degree of Capricorn, we are going to have a lot of noise, much more than what is happening now. And then truths are falling apart. And people that we consider important, people that we consider great, people that we consider examples to follow, this is all something that is gonna fall apart. So that is why we're going through a very tough time energetically. We are expecting by this weekend is going to be the toughest, because the moon is in Capricorn doing conjunction with Pluto, which is now tomorrow going to be direct in a karmic degree. So the weekend, it's really tough. It's really tough for Scorpio people. It's really tough for Taurus people. Gemini, in Gemini we have Jupiter that became retrograde, so we are expecting to have a lot of cough, flu, water, runny nose. It's very common. Watch out, throat issues. Mercury will enter in Scorpio. Conversations are gonna be very, very direct. In Cancer, we're having Mars that is doing opposition to Pluto in the last degree of Capricorn. So Pluto is like reaching the last degree of Capricorn, which is the descendant of the people that are rising in Cancer. So it's affecting you a lot through others, through relationships, through partners. We are having tough transits, but it's all part of evolution. I have felt it super strong. I'm usually, I feel things more inner than, like energetically, than having emotional responses because of my moon in Aries. I tend to not react emotionally most of the time, and this week has been super hectic for me. and I can see it as a therapist. I accompany myself in my own tantrum, because it's funny because I'm feeling the tantrum and the things that I'm purifying and everything that is coming out, and at the same time I'm holding myself from outside as the therapist, like, okay, I'm going through this. But there is a part of me that obviously it's also cleansing, it's also clearing. And one of the things about this knowledge, when we are into tarot, when we are into astrology, when we are into Akashic records, when we are into energies, it's because there is a part of us that is highly controlling, and we want to be fine. We want to figure out how to get out of suffering and pain. But we don't have the capacity to get over pain without crossing our own process, because we also have our processes. The difference is that maybe I can see it faster because I'm accustomed to treat people and obviously treat myself. So it's like I can get to the root faster, but that does not avoid the uncomfortable sensation. So it's very interesting because not even astrologists can get it over, not even tarot readers can get off the feeling. It's something that we just gotta cross. Welcome everyone. Welcome to all those new people that are joining us. Actually, yes, Camila, the moment that we can see with Pluto what is happening right now. Pluto is the planet of the death. So the moment that we overcome our worst fear, overcoming by looking at it, it also the empowering that we will have, it's amazing. So if you're a rising in Cancer, you're probably having this degree 29 of Pluto in your house 7, maximum in your house 8 if you're rising in degree 1 of Cancer. If not, probably Pluto is in your degree in your house 7. So that means that you are dealing with a lot of fear of being abandoned by a partner. Let it be a partner of a business or a partner in life, like a couple. And that is the worst fear that a person with having a transit of Pluto can have. The moment that you embrace that fear, then you become super powerful when it comes in the way that you project in front of others in society. So that will make you super powerful, and that will give you the opportunity to show like a very great face of yourself to the public, to society. So it becomes an added value to you. Oh my God, yes, I'm Cancer, second degree, I'm having problems with my relationship. So that means that you have the second degree of actually Pluto is in the end of your house 7, entering. It depends how big your house 7 is. I cannot say because I haven't seen your natal chart, but it's probably in your house 7 and entering in your house 8. So that is gonna be there for 20 years. Okay, in your house 8, developing a lot of your psychic aspect and making you face your worst traumas, fears in order to clear it. So it's your moment. It's your moment of really taking a lot of help in work a lot in healing, and everything will be fine. It's a matter of embracing what we gotta do. The work we gotta do, nobody will do it for us. Okay, so we are ready to start, people. Today I have a very interesting topic. The topic of today is about how to heal the relationship with our siblings. Now, those that have followed us, I do a work with tarot called psychotarology, developed by a Spanish master in tarot called Ismael Sanchez. This is something that many people have contributed to unite, like family tree, family constellations, healing, transpersonal psychology, and tarot. So it's a science like that is developing. It's an alternative therapy, really effective, because we associate the tarot with archetypes of the family tree. So in the whole time we have talked about the importance of positioning ourselves in the center, in neutrality, embracing mother, embracing father, honoring ancestors, etc. So basically we all are the youngest of a family tree. Even though you might have children, your children don't have your same family tree because they have the family tree of the father or the mother added to their tree, that you don't belong to that family except by, like by a relationship. So therefore you are the youngest of your family tree. Your mother is the youngest of her family tree, because then you took the family tree of your mother and your father. So no matter how many kids you have, grandkids you have, how old you are the youngest of your family tree by logic. And embracing them, honoring them, we have explained it over and over again. I invite you to check our videos in our YouTube channel, The Circle of Hanik. And I have explained over and over again the concept of honoring family, honoring parents, honoring ancestors, yet not carrying them, but looking to the future now. So let's do a quick review. Associated with the tarot, we say that the sword represents the great grandparents, and from them we inherit the beliefs. The great grandparents are the brain of the family tree. Neuroses, mental weaknesses, mental diseases come from not honoring, not embracing, not recognizing the great grandparents. They are the great excluded ones of the tree because we hardly know their 8 names. We have 8 great grandparents. I invite you all to share if you know how many of the names of your great grandparents' names do you know. That means they are the parents of your grandparents. So you have 4 grandparents. These 4 grandparents got 2 parents each. That means 8 great grandparents. How many of those names do you know, and how much do you know about their history? They are the most excluded ones of our family tree that have a direct impact on us. But it's interesting because energetically they are the ones that transmit the belief system. Our belief system come from them. Yes, we upgrade, we update, we are modern, whatever, but our belief system actually comes from them. When we integrate them, they give us the gift of wisdom. When we exclude them, and when we judge them, when we judge their life, their decisions, when we are ashamed of our family tree, when we take sides with the women or the men, etc., what we usually do is we inherit neurosis. Okay. Now, though the grandparents are represented by the cup, so interesting, by the cup represents emotions. Therefore, the emotional wisdom is inherited from the grandparents. Yes, the grandparents, their histories, their beliefs about love, their beliefs about emotions. So a correct honoring of the grandparents result in a good and abundant emotional life. And the parents are represented by the wand, because the wand is also the sexual energy, and we all are the result of a sexual encounter between our father and our mother. And therefore this is the heart of the family tree. And the parents are the hips, the pelvic area of the family tree. And they give us the creative force, Honoring the parents result in abundance financially, in abundance emotionally as well, and in a lot of strength to do and creative force. So when we feel frustrated at work, when our income is not what we want, when we are having issues with finances, probably we are having issues integrating our parents. It happens a lot to people that become the lawyers of the parents. Lawyer of your mother, lawyer of your father, siding with one of them, end up in having this kind of dysfunctions in our life. And the feet of the family tree is the brothers, sisters, meaning the siblings, and the uncles, the brothers and sisters of our parents. Now, it's very important. Today I'm going to talk about siblings. Why? Because siblings is something, first of all, we don't have hierarchy. What means hierarchy? There are hierarchy with the parents. My parents are above me. My mom on my left, my dad on my right. There is hierarchy with regards to my grandparents. My two maternal grandparents, my two paternal grandparents. There is hierarchy related to the great grandparents, but not to the brothers and sisters. With the brothers and sisters, we do not have hierarchy, meaning we are not equal, but we have something called order. Order is different from hierarchy. Hierarchy is people that are above you. Therefore, you own them honor, you own them respect, and you ask them permission energetically to do it different. With brothers and sisters, you don't do that, but we respect the order. We respect the order that we are born. We respect not respect in a sense that they are above us. Respect the destiny that each one had according to the order of being born. Why? Because each one of them, according to the time they were born, there was a financial situation and there was certain dynamics in the family. And those dynamics and that financial situation and that social situation and that emotional situation, that environment that each one was born at, mark a difference in their destiny, in our destiny and in our perception of life. Therefore, we respect that. We respect that each one was born in a time that brought with that a change in the dynamics of the family. So we because there is a lot of envy that is very silent that arises between brothers and sisters because they were born in a different time. And I'll give you a simple example. Let's say that your brother and sister was born in a time where the financial means of the family or the financial life was more abundant, and they used to buy lots of things for your brother or your sister. And the moment that you were born, things changed a little bit. Maybe you came in a way by mistake, which is never a mistake. Something greater wanted you here. And then you start inherited the used toys of your brothers and sisters. Even if that sounds like something innocent and understandable, it creates in the mind a sensation that we don't have the right to have something new, and that our brothers and sisters have more right. That develops a sort of jealousy, a silent jealousy that affects our life. So this is what we are going to talk about today. Are you following up to now with the topic? Okay, so we are going to talk about 10 dynamics that we are having with our brothers and sisters in our life. These 10 dynamics are unconscious, I must say, but they tend to create arrogance, okay? Arrogance, and they tend to create loyalties towards the one or the other. And not being grateful means not becoming an adult. Being grateful means becoming an adult. So let's start with the first dynamic that we need to heal with when it comes to our brothers and sisters. And the first dynamic is the dynamic of guilt. And what does that mean? We feel guilty about the position that a brother was born. If he was older, if we felt that he was more special, if we felt that he was, or also when we have a brother or sister that, let's say an older one, that has a physical issue, we feel guilty. We feel guilty about them not having the vitality and the health that we have. And that guilt makes us feel very, very bad. And it unconsciously, we self-sabotage ourselves of happiness and abundance, because we feel guilty of having something they do not have. I have seen cases of brothers and sisters who lose probably their sight or any health aspect, and then the younger one, especially the youngest, imitate this disease of the elders, because it's like, due to my loyalty to you and the guilt that I feel, I don't allow myself to live a healthy life. Okay, so that is a very unconscious movement that we do, and this unconscious movement is actually really damaging to our lives, because then we are in a constant self-sabotaging. And this self-sabotaging, what it does is, like, we cannot live abundantly, we cannot live a life full of peace, we cannot live a life that we wish for, because we are condemned to think that because my eldest brother or sister have an issue, I should follow him on that. Now, we can say, if that is our situation, we can just repeat in our heart, brother or sister, I respect your destiny and the price that you had to pay for your disadvantage. In your honor, I decide to do what is good and what gives me a good life. Okay, so it's a way to reprogram the subconscious when we are condemned to repeat patterns. This also happens a lot when we have an elder brother and sister that have, for example, a physical aspect, and then we try to imitate it. Let's say, for example, hormonal disorders, things like that, things that maybe the body of the person is not functioning, and then we try to imitate it, and then we think this is family inherited, but in reality we are programming ourselves out of like a blind loyalty to repeat these damaging patterns. Now, so guilt is the one. When we repeat this sentence to ourselves about our brother or our sister, we start liberating so that everybody does their own life. Because also, when we are free from imitating patterns, those that are before us also relax when we start living our own lives. It's unconscious. Okay, now the second guilt trip here, the second dynamic that we have with our brothers and sisters, is when there was one that received more than the other. And the one that received more than the other, obviously it happened because he was in a way born in a time where family had better financial situations, so he received more material things, and this creates an envy, and it creates a resentment, because we feel that we are not equal, in life. So the first thing that we need to do, as I mentioned at the beginning, is not to there is no hierarchy between me and my brothers, but there is an order that I should respect. I should respect this chronological order, and in this chronological order, I recognize that everyone has an autonomy and everyone has a destiny, and I have to respect that. To have zero dependency on that. In order, this also happens when one of the brothers receives more help from the parents. And when one of the brothers receives more help than the parents, the independent ones feel jealous. My mom, my dad, look at all what they do for him or for her. They never did anything for me. And the one that receives a lot of help, being an adult, he tends to be very dependent and has a hard time growing adult, and he's always a victim. Every time, everybody has to help them, everybody has to do something for them, everybody has to solve their life. So the independent siblings feel very upset about this attitude, and they get very resented to the parents for having this, let's say, this lack of support towards them. And they say, like, if it was my case, my parents wouldn't do anything for me, but it's because it's her or it's him, then they do everything for him. It creates a resentment. So we need to understand that the chronological time that we are born make a big difference in this dynamic. Okay, so because it creates a very big difference in this dynamic, the circumstances were different, you know. So we need to be grateful to the parents for giving us our life. And if I don't, yes, it happens, even if they don't need, exactly. And when we become grateful, we grow older, okay? It's not the same to be born as first or to be born as second or to be born as third. And in societies where people have a lot of kids, imagine how different it is to be born first than to be born 10th, where like nobody pays attention to you anymore. You're like raising yourself on your own. So because each stage is different, the attention that the eldest receive compared to the number 10, imagine, in big families. So it's very important to say to our brothers, the eldest, you are my elder brother, I am your younger brother. You are the first, I'm the second. I respect your destiny and I assume my destiny. Okay, same if you are the youngest and that person, if you are the eldest and that person is the youngest, you say, I am your eldest sister or your eldest brother. You're my youngest sister, my youngest brother. I am first, you're second. And please remember, this is not about hierarchies, order, chronological order. I respect your destiny and I assume my destiny. So when we assume the destiny that we had, in a way, we recover the relationship with the brother and sister. Many of the issues between brothers and sisters come from this point. Okay, so let's do with both of them. We have done both of them. Let's say that you don't have brothers and sisters. If you don't have brothers and sisters, then simply you are going to send this message to the siblings of your parents. So let's start with the guilt. So look at the card of the justice, and then say to your siblings, brother or sister, I respect your destiny and the price that you paid for your disadvantage. In your honor, I take what is good and what life brings me. This is in the case when we have a brother or a sister that have a physical disadvantage. Okay, we repeat that so that we allow ourselves a good life. Okay, also, for example, if my sister or my brother had a hard life because they had to go to work and they didn't have the opportunity to study, okay, so then I don't allow myself to be successful in my studies, in my professional life. I self-sabotage because I feel guilty of having an opportunity that they didn't have. So we have to say, I respect your destiny and the price that you paid for your disadvantage. Okay? In your honor, I take what is good and what brings me a good life. Okay? Those that want personalized readings, feel free to DM me and then I send you the details for personal readings. I don't do personal readings in my lives except on Mondays and Tuesdays in the morning, but I'm not doing readings right now, and so feel free to send me a message. Now let's go with the second message. The second message or the second situation is the let's say when we feel that one of our brothers or sisters received more help than the other. When we are upset about someone receiving more help than us, or we feel that we receive more help than the other, sometimes the youngest receive a lot of help if he is the children of older parents, and the parents like spoil him a lot. Because I will tell you why. If you have that dynamic in your family, please understand it's not free. The more your parents give you, the more they will expect from you when they get older. Okay, so it's a trap of the family tree. It's not unconditional. Nothing is unconditional when people are not enlightened. So the more you receive from your parents, also the more bond you are to respond with gratitude. Therefore, if that is the case, these people that receive the most, they feel that they don't have the freedom to travel. They feel that they don't have the freedom to move to other country. They feel they don't have the freedom to marry whomever they want because the parents are giving him more. Okay, so don't think it's like for free. So we only look at the fact that they receive apparently more help. So what do we say here? We say, in the case that you are the oldest, and if you are the youngest, the contrary, you say, brother or sister, I am your eldest brother, or your youngest brother. You are my youngest brother, in case that you are the eldest, and I am the first and you are the second, and I respect your destiny and I assume my destiny. Okay, if you are the youngest, then you say, you are my eldest brother, I am your youngest brother, you are the first, I am second, I respect your destiny and I assume my destiny. Okay, so it's the same. Now, another of the situations that look silly, but they create a lot of issues as well, is those people that share rooms, or one of them had a smaller room and one of them had a bigger room, but substantially bigger. So that, because when we are young, our first territory is shared or dispute with brothers and sisters. And what happens is that a lot of times the person that had the bigger room end up having bigger houses when they are older, and the one that had the small room end up always having small houses even when they are adults. And so many people come and try to constellate why is that reason. So what do we say in here? If we say my sisterhood or my brotherhood is my first territory, the world is my final destination. Okay, to liberate ourselves from the pattern that I should have in a smaller place than my brother and sister. Remember that these are energetical movements of the soul. They don't happen consciously, they happen unconsciously. Okay, because the subconscious moves 98% of the situations in our lives. So the space that I am given as a child is the space that later on as an adult I feel that I deserve. Okay, so if, for example, because I was the youngest, they put me in a small corner, then as an adult, I will think that that is maximum I deserve. So we need to reprogram our mind. The concept of repeating these healing sentences, this is things that we are not saying to our brothers literally, physically. We are saying it to ourselves because we are reprogramming our subconscious to clear this information so that we can recover and live life in more abundance and in better well-being. Other of the issues that happen between brothers and sisters is the competition for the side of mother and father. Okay, in many houses we have divisions. People feel that they are more beloved by a father, and some feel that they are more beloved by the mother. And what this happens is that we create groups, the team, mama's team and baba's team and the father team and the mother team. And the worst part is when the parents are energetically separated, even though they live together, and they create partnership with the kids. So there are men who are energetically bound to their mother, that's why they cannot get married, and there are women that are energetically married to the father, and that's why they cannot get married. By energetically marriage, I don't mean physical, I mean energetically giving the attention to the father or to the mother as the partner, and that leaves no space for relationships to flow. I have seen it also in families that are very big and they are like 10 brothers and sisters, and some of the brothers and sisters find no care, or they don't feel seen by the parents, especially when the parents start forgetting their names of the kids, and then they start calling them like by the names of everyone except their name. Then they create these bonds with between brothers and sisters, and then they energetically are in a relationship with a sister and that, or a brother, and that does not allow them to later on have a relationship on their own. So when we are divided in the family in the groups between our mother and our father, this creates hatred and jealousy in our hearts. So it's very important to say, in the heart of mother and father, you and I are equally special. Now, you might say that it's a fact that some children were more favorite to your mother or to your father than you, for example. But that favoritism only happened at ego level, not at soul level. At soul level, we do not have those favoritisms. Therefore, we don't consider that. We only focused on the energetical aspect. So in the energetical aspect, we say, mother, father in front of my brother and sister in front of my mother and my father, our mother and our father, we are the same. Now, another of the wounds that can happen is the wound of injustice. The wound of injustice happens a lot when our uncles had issues between themselves. My mother had issues with her brothers and sisters, or my father had issues with my brothers and sisters. So what happens is, those issues, I adopt them, and then I replicate them with my brother and my sister, with my siblings. So I sort of feel the wound of injustice that an uncle lived, and I live it with my brothers and sisters. I replicate it. So this is, again, very unconscious. It's transmitted in the family tree. So we have to say, I see your injustice. I have it in my heart. I respect your anger, and with love, I let it with you. Okay? What happens between my parents and you is your affair, and I am not part of it. I'm free to live my life. Another of the issues that I can have with my brothers and sisters, how about us who had no mothers in our homes but only our stepmoms, and all we ever knew was pain? Medios hermanos also as well. Now when we do the tarot, Bohemia, we will see what we get. Because let's say, for example, if this stepmom had kids, then you will be fighting for the side or the look of your father. For example, those that were from your mother. Or the dispute was you were disputing with her the attention of your father. With the stepbrothers, the same happened, because the stepbrothers have a complicated situation, because in each family your father made or your mother made, there is an elder. So I am the eldest daughter of my mom and my dad, but my dad fourth relationship. My father has obviously an eldest daughter overall. So it's very important to give them their place. And it's difficult because you say, I'm the eldest. You are the eldest of your mom, but your father had an eldest. And so we have to recognize their place. And I see in natal charts how we repeat by position when we are more than a certain number of people in a family. We repeat patterns of those brothers, and we can see it in a natal chart. Another of the situations that present between brothers and sisters are what we call the aborted ones. If there are abortions before or after me, many of us sometimes feel that we took the life of an aborted one. We took the place in the world of an aborted one. And then we start looking at them. When we look at death, we cannot live life. Okay? So it's very important to say, brother, your place is in death. My place is in life, and in your honor, I live my life to the maximum. This happened to me. My mother had an abortion before me, and I didn't know, but many years later, and many times we feel a lot of pain for living, and this pain is coming because we are looking at the death. Sometimes women can have abortions without knowing, and they just interpret it as a very heavy period. And because it was a very early stage, it can happen. And many of us maybe had abortions and we are unaware of. And then if we have kids, our kids are looking back to that aborted one. It could be intentional or unintentional. It happens a lot. I see it when I open Akashic Records. I have seen cases, people that come to me and they tell me to review them, and when I check them, I remember clearly a case of a girl who came telling me she was feeling certain things. I opened the Akashic Records and I saw an image of a woman having an abortion. So I asked her, did you abort? And she told me no. Did your mother abort? Yes, she did before me. So it was very easily detected. Another of the reasons that can create issues in our life, block our path, is when we follow the destiny of a brother or a sister who had a bad life. Kill himself, kill herself. Feel free to do so. If I can answer the question related to the topic, I would love to. If I have a brother or a sister that had a bad life, that had a bad end, the youngest tend to imitate the path due to addictions or these kind of things, accidents. Sometimes addictions and stuff like that. Sometimes accidents can happen as well. I have seen cases of people that everybody dies in the same way. These are unconscious imitations, okay? Unconscious imitations. Like we just go through that same attitude in life and then we repeat the same thing. So we gotta say in this case, brother, you follow your path, I follow mine, and from now on I will have you present, giving myself a good life. Okay? Because dead people rest when we leave. When we leave, they rest better. We don't intend to, we should not try to replace them, because then they suffer wherever they are. Another very common, and this will be the last one before we go and we work with the cards. You will not believe this one. There are many cases where the mother was pregnant of twins. And in the pregnancy of the twins, one of the twins did not develop. And especially if we are more than, reaching 40s today, at that time there was no scans as now. The scans were much more limited than now. So, for example, they didn't know which gender I was gonna be. Okay, they thought I was gonna be a boy and then I end up being a girl. That also creates issues. So in the early stage of development, one of the twins eat the other, absorb it, or does not develop, or takes all the nutrients and the other one has no access to the nutrients. That creates issues. You've no idea. The person feels too inside themselves. I have seen cases like that. I saw a man who felt he had, even though he relates himself with women, heterosexual, but he felt that there was a woman inside him. And a sadness and a depression and a sadness and a depression and a sadness and a depression. And it happened to be that it was the case. When that happened, what usually happens is that they look for people in their partnerships that replace that twin that is dead. So they don't look for love as a partnership. They look for a sister or for a twin. Okay? So if that is our case, we need to say to our partner, if we are trying to replace him, you are not my brother. You are my lover and only my lover, and this is my place. Or you are my friend, only my friend, and this is your place. This sometimes is unconscious. Sometimes we are aware of it. Now, we have 10 dynamics. What I will do is I will invite you to choose one card, 1 to 10, to understand which dynamic is the one that you are imitating the most, or that is creating chaos between you and your siblings. Remember that chaos can be simple. It doesn't need to be super, oh my God, the biggest issue on earth. It's just something that sometimes don't let you progress, and it's related to these dynamics between the brothers and sisters. So I'm gonna lay the 10 cards. So feel free to choose 1 to 10 and type the number. If you don't have brothers and sisters, you can you can have been repeating these dynamics with yes, half brothers and sisters included, and also with cousins, and also with uncles, that you are trying to fix your mom's issues, your father issues of their friend. Of course, this is all unconscious. Okay, so choose one card, 1 to 3, 1 to 10, sorry. Okay, number 1, those that chose number 1 are struggling to get the attention of the mother. So when you're struggling to get the attention of your mother, you feel that one of your brothers or sisters is more beloved by your mother. And you have to repeat, brother, in the eyes of my mother, we are the same. This happens when our mother has a favorite, or when our mother has kids with another man besides our father. It's common. Those that chose number 2, Bohemia, look at it. You are fighting for the eyes, the sight of your father. So if you have stepbrothers or stepsisters, the fact that your mother wasn't present, it's a clear indication you with your brothers and sisters were, I know it's not very accurate when we do the cards, you were competing for the attention of your father, and that developed a lot of tension. The fighting for the attention of our father will bring us lack of vitality. You already know that. You've been here in all the lives that I have talked about it. We lack vitality, we lack psychic strength, we lack good management of our resources, because the father transmits the strength. So you already know the whole thing. It's not about the person, because he probably didn't behave the best way, but the soul. So you repeat to your brothers and sisters, in the eyes of my father, we are our father, we are all special. Okay? Number 3, you are following the history of a sibling that probably had a difficult life, probably died young, or died in an accident, or had left the house, left family, abandoned the family in a way. So that make you recreate like an imitation to that person who had a destiny. So we have to say to this sibling, we have to say that we have to say, I respect your destiny. What happens also, I forgot to mention something about this card. When we have a brother or a sister that died, some people have stories that say, for example, my brother was killed. A lot of people have that, like my brother was killed. And then I have seen cases of people who, for example, have an accident and cannot walk. And before that story happened, the brother was killed. So what tends to happen is we look at them. But remember that the dead ones do not need to work. The dead ones do not need a partner. So if I look at the dead ones, and this happens the same with the abortions, I will not be able to have a good life. Nothing in my life will be able to flow. Okay? So you have to repeat, brother, you with your path and me with my path. And from now on, I will have you present, giving myself a good life. Okay? This is similar to the guilt card. Number 4, the guilt. It's similar to the one that I mentioned earlier. The difference is that the guilt sometimes come because the eldest brother had or sister had a disease. Okay, when someone have a disease, and they cannot, or for example, disability, then the youngest brother and sisters feel guilty of having a good life. So we have to say, brother, sister, I respect your destiny, and I pay the price and I respect the price that you paid for your disadvantage. In your honor, I take what is good from life. Okay? How do we do these healing phrases? By looking at a picture of that brother and sister and repeating that phrase. Okay? Number 5. Who chose number 5? Number 5 has to do with issues of twins that did not develop in the womb of the mother. So we basically ate the twin, and when we ate the twin, then we end up searching for that twin in our relationships. Okay, I mentioned it earlier. So I mentioned earlier, when that is the case, you have to say to your partner, I am not your brother, I am your lover, or I am your friend, and only your lover or your friend, and that is my place. So to disengage from that searching of the sibling in that person. Number 6, the abortions. Those that got card number 6 means that before your birth, your mother probably had an abortion, and I invite you to ask your mother if she's alive, or an aunt, if your mother had an abortion before you were conceived, in case that you don't have that information. When we are looking at the abortions of our mothers, we cannot live life because we are with the dead. It happens a lot that people lose vitality, lose strength, fall into depressions, and feel guilty for living. Okay? So that was number what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With number 7, there is this competition for the place that they are born. And even many years happen. No, okay. The subconscious don't know about time. The subconscious don't know about time. Subconscious gets stuck to something, and that is it. Number 7, that you are fighting about the position of birth, like somebody born before you or after you receive more advantages than you, and the situation was different. If you have half brothers and half sisters, the fact that they were, for example, let's say that you are the eldest daughter of your father when your father was immature, young, not committed, and then later on he gets married. Have you watched the movie, the Netflix series Envidiosa? Envious in Netflix, super good. So that character, Victoria, she has her father abandon the mother, and then I'm not gonna do a spoiler, but then it's something similar, right? So there is this competition because maybe your father made his life and gave much more to younger brothers and sisters. In my case, it was the contrary. When I came into my father's life, my father was divorced 2 times. He didn't want to have more kids. There was an abortion before me because he didn't want to have kids. I know, you gotta watch it. It's super good. It's super good. I swear I cried with it. I'm not gonna do a spoiler, but I cried a lot. I cried a lot at the end. Like I was like, oh, I wanna watch it again. I'm waiting for the 2nd season. You have to watch it, Sophia. And then we have to have a discussion about it. So going back to my story, my dad had 2 divorces. My mom had an abortion because my dad told her, I don't want to have more kids. I just want to live my life now. My father was in his midlife, having a good financial times. He was a father very young of his eldest children. And I was not seen by my dad. energetically, even though he could have seen me, but I am almost 40. I'm so kidding, but yes, almost 40, and I still feel, and my father never actually looked at me. He could have, but it's energetically because I had that feeling of rejection. So there is, but with his eldest kids, he spent much more time. When they talk about my dad, they have all these stories of the things that they did with my dad, because my dad had them when he was in his 20s. He had me when he was in his 50s. So it was a completely different story. He couldn't be bothered with me, to do half of the things he did with his eldest kids. So it creates secret envy because you feel your dad belongs more to them than to you. For those that got card number 7. So you need to say, if you are younger and the envy is going to the older, you have to say to them, you are my elder brothers and sisters. I am your younger sister. You are the first, I'm the second, or I'm the last, And I respect your destiny and I assume mine. Okay, because it was perfect the way it was. Did it resonate with you, Sosito? Hello, Amira, how are you? Okay. Number 8. For those that chose number 8, the issue is that your dad or your mom helped more one of your siblings. And that sibling is probably the one, or maybe you are the one who is being helped by. So your mom, the one that receives the help, is the dramatic one. Like, I need help, and everybody solved their life and nobody solves yours, or you are the one that everything is solved to you and nobody solved their issues. So there is a hidden jealousy here. And again, it's about recognizing that they are born in a different time than you, and with that time there was different things. You have your destiny, I have mine. Number 9, there was a sense of injustice. Number 9, that you are inheriting from your uncles. Your uncles, the brothers or the siblings of your mother or your father, did something or had issues between themselves, and you are inheriting that. So you are bringing those issues to your relationship with your brothers and sisters. So yes, so the number 9. So you gotta say, uncles, I respect your life, I respect your destiny, I leave up to you your issues, I am free to live my life. And then number 10, space. Number 10, who chose number 10? One of you, either you or your siblings, receive smaller room, smaller bed, smaller space. And that created a sensation of resentment. So you have to say, the world is my final destiny. Okay. Now, let's do a rebalance before going to the oracles. We will finish in the last 20 minutes we have with oracles. But let's do a balance as we did yesterday. Just close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out. To become present, to bring yourself here to the present moment. And we give thanks. We give thanks to the destiny, life, for giving us this opportunity to heal, for giving us this opportunity to recognize those issues that we have in life that are pulling us in the directions that we don't want to go, that are becoming the obstacles of our development and our growth in life. And focus on your midline that goes in between your 2 hemispheres all the way to your tailbone. And breathe in. And in this midline, we are going to erase any weakness, any issue, any discomfort, any competition, any resentment that you had toward your siblings, toward your parents, toward your family, towards the history, towards destiny. Any resistance, any fake imitation, blind following to the dead ones, to the sick ones, to the ones that had a tragic final. and early death. We clear any negative pattern associated with brothers, sisters, uncles, and aunts that is stopping you today from having the freedom to create the life that you deserve and that you want in financial, emotional abundance, in vitality, in creativity, in strength. We clear your midline from any information that is stored in your body, in your organs, in your subconscious, from this life, from other lives, from parallel lives, from parallel universes, from past lives, from your ancestors. We erase it. We erase it and we strengthen your midline with vitality, with neutrality. We reset your brain completely so that you are not programmed anymore subconsciously, imitating patterns that are harmful for yourself, for your present, and for your future. We erase any fear of life. We erase any fear to success. We erase any fear to abundance. We erase any program of self-sabotage in you so that you can create your future to your like. And then start coming back slowly and tell me how you feel about the alignment. You feel it? Did you feel any physical sensation? Okay. Now, let's go to the oracles. Okay. If you want to have personalized readings, there are two options. You can DM me for personal readings. I do personal readings of an hour through Zoom, so I can send you the details. Or you can come online Mondays and Tuesdays in the morning, 11 a.m. Dubai time. I do personal readings along with astrological readings. Otherwise, you can have the questions that you want to ask, and with the general oracles, you can answer those questions by choosing a number. This is how I work with the reading. So let's start with the oracle. Okay, are you ready? Let's think of a situation that we want to ask about right now that is creating a lot of thought in our mind. Okay, and then let's ask, how is the present situation and the future situation about that, the outcome of that situation? Choose one set, 1, 2, or 3, or 4, present situation and future resolution. 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you have more than one question, then choose, okay, more than one set. One per question, yeah? Okay, number 1. The current situation number 1 is blocked at the moment. the situation that you're asking about, for those that chose number 1, the situation is blocked right now. Now, the resolution is a protecting love. The protecting love is a card that talks about having an energy of someone who protects somebody else, that holds dear, and there will be a triumph over adversity. So right now, number 1, the situation is blocked between you and that situation. There is no number 5, only 1 to 4. And the situation is blocked, but you will get out of it. Okay, you chose number 1. You chose number 1. Did it resonate? Number 2, that situation that you are asking about is in a bloom moment. A bloom moment means that it's growing, it's going. You have to have faith. You have to keep patience. I mean, it's blooming. The situation is coming out. Now, the other card, the future of it, it's like a person who brings lessons from the shadow into the light. So it's like you gotta connect a lot with your illusions, with your emotions, with your intuitions. Okay, so where did it go? I didn't understand. Okay, so that you are taking lessons from that situation that make you sad or is making you think about it, but it's blooming. It's just that you need to learn from the shadow moments, because maybe right now you're going through a shadow moment with that situation, a dark side. Number 3, there is an attraction. For those that chose number 3, there is an attraction between you and that situation, that person. Hello, me. There is a situation of attraction between you and that person, or about you and that situation. And there will be bravery in order to fight for that which you hold dear. Okay, so in the moment of attraction, we might feel that, okay, it's attractive, but it's not worthy enough of fighting for. But it's very different. In the future, there will be bravery to fight for that which I hold dear. And number 4, there is something that you hold very dear to you, that you appreciate a lot. And that is in a moment of mother. It's in a moment of nurturing. Is growing within you, that project, that situation, that relationship, and it's gonna give fruits eventually. Okay? Okay, let's do now with the same oracle. Let's do situation you want to ask about, and then we are going to ask the steps to reach to that conclusion. Okay, so let's ask about the future of something that you want to know. How's the future of something? The near future, please. Don't ask about things that are going to happen in 10 years. Okay, if it's something that is going to happen in a week maximum, so don't overdo, because energy changes. Do you know, and I tell you this as a tarot reader, we cannot read the future if it's very far away. We can read the immediate future, which is around the corner. I'm telling you this, the future changes as much as we change our present. If my attitude towards something changes, the future changes. If I clear a karma, as we did, if I do an alignment of myself, the future changes. So stop being obsessed about the future. Nobody can know the future. Only the very near thing. The very near thing is how something is going to happen tomorrow, after tomorrow. How do I know You mean the readings? Oh, thank you so much, Camila. But you know, like, I have to be honest. When you ask future questions, you are wasting your time. Ask about your present. Ask what are you doing today in order to reach that what you want. So all of you that are asking me about a relationship, all of you that are asking me about job changes, all of you that are asking me about visas, then let's post a card to see how's the near future of it, and then the steps to reach to that conclusion, or to change it if you don't like what you are getting, okay? But don't waste your time asking things that are very far away, because future is not written on stone. I'm just saying, I read the tarot every single day. And I know I'm saying this out of experience. The future changes if I change. If I change today my approach to something, yes, I know that I can tell that there is a conflict coming. And sometimes I don't see the conflict coming. I see the relationship with this person is good, doing very well. And suddenly the cards show me there is a conflict. Because there are canonic truths. There are things that are inevitable because they are part of destiny in order for growth. But the remaining of it is changeable. Okay, the remaining of it. Okay, so yalla, let's start. Think of something that you want to ask about. And then let's see how's the near future of it. Okay, the near future of a situation. The near future of a situation. The near future of a situation. 1, 2, or 3 to 4. Near future of a situation. And then the 3 steps to reach or to solve that situation, okay? The 3 steps to solve that situation. 3 steps to solve that situation. 3 steps to sort that situation. Okay. Okay, number 1. You are in a moment of healing. There is something in your life that you're asking about that is bringing medicine through the magic. Magic, don't imagine magic. I mean magic, I mean energy. The shaman is a card that talks about spiritual healing. So a situation that you are going through is telling you is in a spiritual healing moment. And now the steps to reach that spiritual healing means that you are going to feel better about that situation. You're going to have more clarity. You're going to have a solution that is not only physical, but it's going to bring well-being to your life. Now, the steps to reach there. Number 1, you are going now through a moment of sorrow. You are sad. You are sad about what you're going through. You are going through a loss. You are feeling confused. You don't know which path to take. You are having a lot of emotions on the surface about the situation. Now, don't stop dreaming and creating the future that you desire by imagining it with emotion. All those that ask about manifestation, if you want to know who manifests the reality, is you. You manifest your reality with your words, with the quality of your words, with the quality of your actions. So just visualize that future. See yourself, how you look in that ideal future, in that realization, and infuse that dream with an emotion of happiness. That is how manifestation happens. And number 3, the synchronicities will come. You will have the answers. The answers are coming to you about that situation. And the messages from the spirit guides, wait for them. Probably dreams, things like that. So trust your dreams. Your dreams might be telling you something about that situation, okay? Those that chose number 2, this is a relationship with someone which is your soulmate. Now, a soulmate is somebody who is a kindred spirit and is a sacred love. So let me know if those that chose number 2, the answer, that the question you're asked about is not love, because this is a love card. And if you are asking about work or something else, then it might be that a soulmate is involved in helping you achieve that. But if it's a love, you're talking about love, then this is the card. Now, the 3 steps to reach there. Spring is telling us that things are ready and already new beginnings. Okay, there is no number 5, only relocation. Okay, so new beginnings. Okay, number 2, there is crystal vision, and crystal vision talks about intuition, like you know where to go. Yeah, number 1 can be about love too. Yes, a healing love. Yeah, everything can be about anything you want. There is an intuition here that your intuition knows where to take you, and that place or that situation is going to bring joy. It might be that you already have the place in mind. You know where that place is. And in that place, you will find your soulmate if you didn't meet your soulmate yet. Or your soulmate lives there, or you will go there with your soulmate. I don't know. Number 3, the magician. The magician is like an energy of creating. You are creating. There are surprises, coincidences that are happening, and they are moving your soul towards its purpose. No. It's because a person that chose number 1, Bohemia, he asked about relocation. So because he got the soulmate card, so that's it. So he was like, okay, it was about relocation, was the relationship with the soulmate, you know. Number 3. So I'm in number 3 now. Okay, so there are coincidences that are moving your soul towards that purpose, the purpose that you're asking about. You have to be persistent in your work, in your self-work, persistent in yourself, persistent in improving yourself in that situation. Now, there is a wisdom why you are going right now through the situation in the way you are going through it. Accept it the way it is. And let it be. Focus on the divine guidance, because divinity is guiding you through it. And the artist is a person who at the end also have the ability to make things beautiful and create his own abundance and creativity. That means that the situation for those that chose number 3 is pretty much in your desire, how you want it to be, how you want it to create it. That's how it's gonna manifest itself. Number 4, it's a moment of rest. If you ask about something, the card is telling you that situation, it's in a moment of rest, okay? And then towards those steps, first we have a very, very strong intuition, an intuition that is telling us how to get there, an intuition that is telling us, like, it's giving us the big picture of it. Number 2, you are ready for that change, you are ready for that move. And number 3, start moving the energy with words. Speak beautiful. Infuse with beautiful and positive words your reality. Okay? This is what it's actually telling us. Okay? So this was the message of our cards today. Let's close with a card of Moonology, one card of Moonology for all of us. So to close our life, all of the 3 cards for number 2 define me. I'm so amazed. Okay, so you will relocate with your soulmate. That is so much amazing. Don't doubt it. Okay. So, number 4, DJ. What was number 4? It was the magician? I don't remember. No. The first card is telling you the situation is at rest. Okay. You see, then don't doubt it. Don't doubt it, Bohemia. Don't doubt it. DJ, the situation was in rest, and then the steps to reach there was the magician, and then no, the magician, no. I don't. The eagle, that you have a very strong intuition, and that you have to say where, talk about it positive so that it manifests. I forget, okay? I'm thinking already something else and I forget. Okay, let's get the last card of our oracle. And then our oracle demonology, let's choose a card. Think of something or a general message as you prefer. How much we love life. I understand you guys, believe me, I do. We live in function of love. This is the love oracles. Okay, let's get the love oracles as well. Okay, let's one last message before we do the love oracles. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Number 1, believe in the impossible. Believe in the impossible, okay? Believe in the impossible means maybe you are being very rational about something. You are thinking that nothing is gonna happen in that situation, that you have no future in it, but maybe you just have to trust that you have to trust your intuition that things are gonna come. Then number 2, adjustments are required, means that there are certain things that you need to change for that thing to readdress itself. It's a matter of time, but it's a readjustment that needs to be done. Conclusions are within reach. This is a karmic card, so it's time for you to get back on track. It's time to forgive in order to release karma. It's time to let go of control, because destiny is gonna do its part. And that which is meant for you, will not go away from you. Okay? Right now I'm doing group readings, but I do individual readings. If you're interested, you can send me a DM and I can give you more information. I do individual readings on TikTok Mondays and Tuesdays, and I do individual readings as private sessions as well. And number 4, the hard work that you have done will definitely pay off. So you have done a lot of effort, and that effort is going to be rewarded. Okay, number 4. Okay, because all of you asked me about love life, I'm gonna get a card from the Oracle of the Romance to close our life. Remember to follow us in our account, The Circle of Hanik, here and on YouTube. On YouTube, I upload the lives so you can see the replays complete from beginning to end. I have uploaded all our lives over there. So feel free to check it out, follow us. If you're interested in all these healing topics, you can repeat the classes, you can stop, you can take notes, you can get your notebook. We are creating that library videos in YouTube, The Circle of Hanik as well, okay? And for all of those that are new, I invite you to join our team, to join our account, and to share our account with others that are interested about these topics. Okay, DM DM me, Amira, and I give you more information. I do personal readings Mondays and Tuesdays live on TikTok while I'm doing the astro readings. I have the gifts for personal readings according to numbers of questions, etc. And if you want a full session, you can also send me a message and I tell you the details, okay? When I do the full sessions, I do them through Zoom. Okay, let's get one last message from the Oracle of Love for all of us. Okay, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Number 1, be careful. Someone is wearing a mask. You need to watch out. Someone is wearing a mask. Okay, it's not letting you see that person as it is. Number 2, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart. Open your heart to receive. This is safe. It's safe for you to love. It's safe for you to love this person that you are asking about. Number 3, you are going to be in a moment of disconnection and retreat. You're gonna go away from the world for a time. And number 4, the card of soulmate. Bohemia, I told you, this is your soulmate. Don't doubt it. This person is your soulmate. How many times since we have done the lives, you choose the deck that has the card of soulmate? There is no number 5. Isn't it? Every time that you choose the decks, there is the card of soulmates. I have noticed. Yes. I have noticed that. I have a good memory for that. Okay. So yeah, for those that are asking about private readings, I do private readings through Zoom, so you can DM me. I also do readings here on the lives, okay, on TikTok. The readings on the TikTok are for the tarot, and there are readings that have one question, or you can do 2 different questions, specific questions. You can also do, but of course they are much shorter. But if you want a full reading, I do readings online. I also do analysis of your astrological natal chart. I do readings of natal chart, and I do Akashic record readings as well. I haven't talked much about Akashic records here. It's a little bit more advanced topic, but it's like your book of life, basically. Those sessions, I do them in private. The things that I do on TikTok during Mondays and Tuesdays are short readings of tarot, according to specific questions, Mondays, Tuesdays, and certain Wednesdays, not always, okay? So that's it. If you want more information, send me a message, and then we can agree. It was lovely to have you all here. See you tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow, Maria Clara, watch out for those that wait for Saturday. Maria Clara is going to do the service from Instagram. So tomorrow I'm gonna come live at 8 p.m. sharp. I'm gonna do my talk for 1 hour only. Then we will shift to Instagram where she will do the service. I will be with her. So follow us in my account, The Circle of Hanik, the same name here. Follow us on Instagram. We will go live from The Circle of Hanik on Instagram. I am so happy for you, Bohemia. I am super happy. And you know what? I'll tell you what makes me more happy. What makes me happier about you, Bohemia, is that before you take that step of moving towards your soulmate in the country where your soulmate is, because it's something that is repetitive in you, you are doing a process of healing. Because remember that this is one of the first principles in family constellations. First order, first hierarchy, then love. So you are doing a great job, because when you heal, you are going to be able to have a healthy relationship, even if it's your soulmate. but we are not healed, the relationship won't work. Okay? Now, everyone that follow us tomorrow, the circle of 8 p.m. here for the lecture, then service with Maria Clara on Instagram, the Circle of Hanik. And then over there, when you see her, you can follow her as well in her account, so that you can see her face, because you don't know her. You don't know how she looked. So you will see her tomorrow on Instagram. Okay? So see you everyone tomorrow. Have a great night. Goodbye.